Hi, everyone. I'm Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I'm so happy to be here to celebrate 50 years of Iona House. My mother, Judy Bowles, and our family have a wonderful history with Iona that began in 1978 when co-directors Pearl B. LeBeer and Sally McCarthy hired her to teach poetry and run some general programming for them. It all started in the parish house of St. Columbo's Church, where my mom ran exercise classes and craft classes in which they made pot holders and macrame plant holders. We had a lot of those all over our house, and even quilting classes, which is totally hilarious to me because I am certain my mom had absolutely no idea how to quilt. So I'm guessing that the folks at Iona taught her. She helped run a yearly bazaar, which brought in a sizable sum for the program. And it was during this time that an affiliation was formed with Friendship Housing across the street. It was at Friendship that my mom began a serious poetry group of 10 to 12 seniors that took off with gusto, and it ran for 12 years. It started as a group that simply read poems and discussed poetry, but then it evolved into the writing of poetry. It was a very dedicated group of poets that presented their program twice at the National Council on Aging Conference, and they were featured on WAMU radio, and they worked with students at Sidwell Friends and National Cathedral, and George Washington University filmed one of their sessions, which was very well reviewed in their Journal on Aging. It was a serious group of poets who published 3 volumes of poetry, and that poetry developed profoundly each year. My mom had a Christmas party for the group every year, and my sisters and I came to know her students very well and looked so forward to seeing them. Esther Stoville and John and Dorothy Graham and Eugene Fisher and Winifred Morris, just to name a few. In fact, by the way, when I was pregnant with my first son, Henry, Winifred Morris wrote a poem for me, a stanza of which I framed and had hanging in his room for his entire life. It went like this: votive candles to the west burn vigil high and low. God grant our little guest this sweetest time to grow. The Iona poets were a huge part of our lives, and it was like having grandparents around all the time. What a treasure for us, and it was in fact the sweetest time to grow for us all. So congratulations on 50 years, Iona House, and here's to the next 50.